Good morning to the honorable adjudicators, or greetings to the honorable judges. For today, I am here to propose with the motion that this House would heavily tax manufacturing corporations that automate majority of their workforce. But before I should go into my arguments, let us define exactly what the motion is all about. So let me repeat the motion. This House would heavily tax manufacturing corporations that automate majority of their workforce. So this means that manufacturing companies that would implement technologies like computer programs, robots, or any other processes to achieve their goals and create their products with limited human input in order to reach maximum profit should be given a significantly higher tax rate than regular corporations. Let's take a look at the status quo. In this current condition of the modern day, technology has always been used in every part of the industries, all the way from car producing factories to massive power plants. Machines have fully replaced humans as the new workforces. Just take a look in countries in Asia like Japan, South Korea, where they rely on using robots to do most of their labors instead of relying on actual human workers. Now, the fear of people where robots would take over the world and replace most of their jobs seems like it was just their dreams. But it seems that it has actually come into reality. These days, most robots and artificial intelligence have taken over the industries. With this, it reduces the tax incomes for the governments because of the fewer people that actually work and pay for their taxes. And because of this, governments will also struggle in funding the unemployment or people who have just lost their jobs. Our stance here for today is that we are okay with giving the higher tax rates to the manufacturing corporations. But we are not okay with the automated industries having the upper hand. What I'm trying to say is we are not fine with the industries that rely on automation to just have all of their properties and reach their profit without having to actually rely on social work or social welfare or with actual human workers. Now, the goal to this is pretty simple, and that is to ensure that automation not only serves to the shareholders or the elites that rely on technology, but also to society. So it's to make sure that the robots and AI don't only help the shareholders, it also helps to the society, including to the unemployed workers. And the mechanism to this proposal itself is really, I have a few mechanisms to explain to the proposal, to the proposal motion. And that is, there would be a limit given to these corporations. So, if these manufacturing corporations would exceed the limit of automation, like let's say 50% of technology usage, then they would be given the higher tax rate. So, the higher the usage of automation or the higher the number for the automation itself, then the higher the tax rate will be given to the companies. There's also the fund usage, which I will try to explain a little bit more later. Now, there are a few things in mind that I want to prove about this situation, or this condition itself. So let's think about why it is fine or why is it right to give a higher tax to these corporations. Well, that's because when industries fully replace human workers, it actually removes their livelihood. So by replacing humans with machines or technology, it completely removes their opportunities for them to get their work experience, for them to earn the money, to earn their basic needs for themselves as well as their families. So for those that actually profit from the free labor, or in this case, that rely on technologies, should pay higher to help in the consequences and to help the social welfare. And yes, these corporations actually benefit the public system, such as their government-funded infrastructure, while still contributing less in employment and wages. So it's quite unfair that these companies get their infrastructure, get all of their products, get all of their earnings without having the need to pay to the governments just because they replace the human workers. And how it can bring more good than harm itself? Well, the higher tax rate can actually support the unemployment. It can provide the unemployment benefits to workers who suffer from job loss, and can also help smaller economies to financially recover. And how these smaller economies can recover? Well, because the automation can happen really fast, increasing the tax rate can actually slow down, so that these economies can financially recover by transitioning into other types of new jobs, and for workers to adapt, to retrain and adapt to the new systems without corporations recklessly just replacing them with technology. But because that, by looking in the status quo, which is the current condition right now, many, and I mean many manufacturing corporations have quickly replaced the human workers with machines, computer programs, and robots. This technological revolution can lead to a rapid mass of unemployment, which can also lead to mass poverty. And because of how quickly technology has taken over in the work jobs, it gives less time for people to adapt into the new systems. And how it's exactly justified is because that by removing human workers, corporations are also avoiding social contract or social contact. What does that mean? Well, that means that corporations have reached to the point where they fully expand the cost of automation to the society, which is morally wrong because, well, people have now lost their jobs, they've lost their livelihoods, and so for those that profit by displacing humans should still pay for their consequences. This is why it's important for manufacturing corporations that automate majority should have higher taxes. That's why I propose with this motion. Thank you.